Let me remember God created me. Father, I did not make myself, although in my insanity I thought I did. Father, I did not make myself, although in my insanity I thought I did. Yet as your thought, I have not left my source, remaining part of who created me. Your Son, my Father, calls on you today. Your Son, my Father, calls on you today. Let me remember you created me. Let me remember you created me. Let me remember my identity, and let my sinlessness arise again before Christ's vision. And let my sinlessness arise again before Christ's vision, through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Let my sinlessness arise before Christ's vision, through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Let me remember God created me. Let me remember God created me. Now is our source remembered, and therein we find our true identity. Oh, now is our source remembered, and therein we find our true identity at last. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. And we who are his sons are like each other and alike to him. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. And we who are his sons are like each other and alike to him. Let me remember God created me. Let me remember God created me. Let me remember God created me. And if you know, think about it. If you're created in God's image and God is perfect, what's that say about you? If God is love, what's that say about you? God can only create after himself. And everything that's contrary to love is your own dream that it's time to wake up from. Wake up, alarm clock, wake up. Time to at least say, God, maybe there's a better way. Let me remember, God created me, and I'm in God's image, and God has no sin, therefore his Son can have no sin. That's our state in reality. Let's step into it. Let's be aware of it. Let's see it in our brothers and sisters. That's how we see it in ourselves. What you want, you've got to give away. That's the way of God. Okay, let's see. And our associated reading is, what is sin? Sin is insanity. It is the means by which the mind is driven mad and seeks to let illusions take the place of truth. And being mad, it sees illusions where the truth should be and where it really is. Sin gave the body eyes, for what is there the sinless would behold? What need have they of sights or sounds or touch? What would they hear or reach to grasp? What would they sense at all? To sense is not to know, and truth can be but filled with knowledge and with nothing else. The body is the instrument the mind made in its efforts to deceive itself. Wow. Okay, listen to that. The body is the instrument the mind made in the mind's deluded effort to deceive itself. Its purpose is to strive. Yet can the goal of striving change, and now the body serves a different aim for striving. What it seeks for now is chosen by the aim the mind has taken as replacement for the goal of self-deception. Truth can be its aim as well as lies. The senses then will seek instead for witnesses to what is true. Sin is the home of all illusions, which but stand for things imagined, issuing from thoughts that are untrue. They are the proof that what has no reality is real. Sin proves God's Son is evil. Timelessness must have an end. Eternal life must die. And God himself has lost the Son he loves, with but corruption to complete himself. His will forever overcome by death, love slain by hate, and peace to be no more. A madman's dreams are frightening, and sin appears indeed to terrify. A madman's dreams are frightening, and sin appears indeed to terrify. And yet what sin perceives is but a childish game. The Son of God may play he has become a body, prey to evil and to guilt, with but a little life that ends in death. But all the while his Father shines on him and loves him with an everlasting love, which his pretenses cannot change at all. How long, O Son of God, will you maintain the game of sin? Shall we not put away these sharp-edged children's toys? How soon will you be ready to come home? Perhaps today? There is no sin. Creation is unchanged. Would you still hold return to heaven back? How long, O Holy Son of God? How long? He says there's no sin. You're so convinced that people can do things wrong that you're living in a world where sin is real. Remember our lesson yesterday? Let me remember there is no sin. Did you start getting a sense of what the world would be like if sin was not a reality? It was just a dream that you had agreed to dream with your brother or sister, and that we could dream a new dream, a dream of forgiveness, the vision of Christ. Well, that's what we want to do today. Let me remember God created me. And as God created me, I'm as creative as God because he gave us everything that he had. He didn't hold anything back from his dearly beloved son or daughter. Okay, let's go back and look in our text reading. And be sure today to do your 2 longer practice periods of as long as you need, morning and evening, at a quiet meditation, contemplating the idea, let me remember God created me. And then every hour of the day today, check in with that idea. Let me remember God created me. Make sure you're at peace when you check in, or joyful, or both. They're the same thing, really. And then ask God for guidance, and be about your Father's business. And I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Forgiveness Willie, teaching forgiveness from the Ozarks here on. This is a little branch called, what is this place? What is this little creek? Right outside of Joplin. I know it well. Anyway, Little Creek, in my friend John's property. I've been here many times. The name of it slipped my mind right now. Anyway, glad you come to join me. It'll probably pop in my mind here in a minute. When it does, I'll likely tell you. Okay, let's go back and look in chapter 28, The Undoing of Fear, and we're ready for Roman numeral 5, the alternate to dreams of fear. What is a sense of sickness but a sense of limitation? What is a sense of sickness but a sense of limitation, of a splitting off and separating from? A gap that is perceived between you and your brother, and what is now seen as health. A gap that is perceived between you and your brother, and what is now seen as health. And so the good is seen to be outside, the evil in. And thus is sickness separating off the self from good and keeping evil in. God is the alternate to dreams of fear. Who shares in them can never share in him. But who withdraws his mind from sharing them is sharing him. There is no other choice. Except you share it, nothing can exist. And you exist because God shared his will with you, that his creation might create. Paragraph 2. It is the sharing of the evil dream of hate and malice, bitterness and death, of sin and suffering, pain and loss, that makes them real. Unshared, they are perceived as meaningless. The fear is gone from them because you did not give them your support. Where fear is gone, their love must come, because there are but these alternatives, either fear or love. Where one appears, the other disappears, and which you share becomes the only one you have. You have the one that you accept because it is the only one you wish to have. You want to see a world of fear or a world of love? You have whichever one you want to see, whichever one you're willing to see or value, or the one that you give to others, the one that you hold in your consciousness is the one that you'll be living in. Paragraph 3. You share no evil dreams if you forgive the dreamer and perceive that he is not the dream he made, and so he cannot be a part of yours from which you both are free. Oh, the name of this creek is Silver Creek, by the way. I knew it'd pop in my mind. You share no evil dreams if you forgive the dreamer and perceive that he is not the dream he made, and so he cannot be a part of yours from which you both are free. Forgiveness separates the dreamer from the evil dream and thus releases him. Remember, if you share an evil dream, you will believe you are the dream you share. And fearing it, you will not want to know your own identity, because you think that it is fearful. And you will deny yourself and walk upon an alien ground which your Creator did not make, and where you seem to be a something you are not. You will make war upon yourself, which seems to be your enemy, and will attack your brother as a part of what you hate. There is no compromise. You are yourself or an illusion. What can be between illusion and the truth? A middle ground where you can be a thing that is not you must be a dream and cannot be the truth. 4. You have conceived a little gap between illusions and the truth to be the place where all your safety lies and where yourself is safely hidden by what you have made. Here is a world established that is sick, and this the world the body's eyes perceive. Here are the sounds it hears, the voices that it hears were made to hear. Here are the sounds it hears, the voices that its ears were made to hear. Yet sights and sounds the body can perceive are meaningless. It cannot see nor hear. It does not know what seeing is, what listening is for. It is as little able to perceive as it can judge or understand or know. Its eyes are blind, its ears are deaf. It cannot think, and so it cannot have effects. 5. What is there God created to be sick? And what that he created cannot be. Let's read that again. What is there God created to be sick? And what that he created not can be. Let not your eyes behold a dream, your ears bear witness to illusion. They were made to look upon a world that is not there, to hear the voices that can make no sound. Yet are there other sounds and other sights that can be seen and heard and understood. For eyes and ears and senses without sense, what they see and hear they but report. Let's read that sentence again. For eyes and ears are senses without sense, and what they see and hear, they but report. It is not they that hear and see, but you, who put together every jagged piece, every senseless scrap and shred of evidence, and make a witness to the world you want. Let not the body's ears and eyes perceive these countless fragments seen within the gap that you imagined, and let them persuade their maker his imaginings are real. So you see a little evidence here that your brother's guilty, and then you concoct this whole idea of what he's done behind your back, and you see all the proofs that demonstrate that he's not to be trusted, and that he's not really one with you, and that he's your enemy, and that you're vulnerable to his attacks. All those things are incorrect. But if you want to be deceived, it'll be easy to prove to yourself that what you see is real, and that innocence is what's not real. But God in his mercy wills we be saved from that. And we realize that love is the only reality. And that death is not ever part of the equation. Sickness is not part of it. Paragraph 6. Creation proves reality because it shares the function all creation shares. Again, creation proves reality because it shares the function all creation shares. It is not made of little bits of glass, a piece of wood, a thread or two perhaps, all put together to attest its truth. Reality does not depend on this. There is no gap that separates the truth from dreams and from illusions. Truth has left no room for them in any place or time, for truth fills every place and every time and makes them wholly indivisible. Then our last paragraph for this section, 7. So in other words, these little scraps, these jagged pieces, these threads here, he's just saying you just take whatever you see and you put it all together and say, well, this is what reality is. But if there's any trace of guilt upon your picture, you're making a mistake. You actually are looking at things insanely. Well, if we really believed that, we would stop back up when we lose our peace, and we'd say, okay, I need help to re-perceive this. And that's where God gives you the miracle, a new way of looking. Paragraph 7. You who believe there is a little gap between you and your brother, do not see that it is here you are as prisoners in a world perceived to be existing here. The world you see does not exist because the place where you perceive it is not real. The gap is carefully concealed in fog, and misty pictures rise to cover it with vague, uncertain forms and changing shapes, forever unsubstantial and unsure. Yet in the gap is nothing. And there are no awesome secrets and no darkened tombs where terror rises from the bones of death. Look at the little gap, and you behold the innocence and emptiness of sin that you will see within yourself when you have lost the fear of recognizing love. Wow, can we lose the fear of recognizing love? He says that's what's the driver behind seeing a world of sickness and terror and separation and pain. Let me remember, God created me. Okay, well, let's see what's going on around the world as far as holidays and observances today. I found that in Hinduism, it's Vishwakarma Puja. Vishwakarma Puja, which is a Hindu celebration of Vishwakarma, who's the divine architect and creator God. And then out of holidays and observances, I found that it's Citizenship Day, Constitution Day. I expect it's Citizenship Day because it's Constitution Day, which on this day in 1787, the 39 signers of the Constitution signed it. International Country Music Day, Professional House Cleaners Day, Rehabilitation Day, School Backpack Awareness Day, Table Shuffleboard Day, Time's Up Day. Now is the acceptable time to accept God, accept forgiveness, accept a world where heaven is now. There is no other place. Heaven's always. You can enter it now. You don't have to wait to die. You don't have to wait until next hour to be happy. It's going on right now. Enter into it. Just let go and let God. VFW Ladies Auxiliary Day and World Patient Safety Day. And out of edible landscape, we've got a real interesting plant. It's called the Seedless Chi, which is a Cudrania tricuspidata. And I put these in the description below if you want to look at the proper Latin name so that you can get one yourself. I may not pronounce them properly, but I always put them in the description below. Like yesterday, I forgot to say what type of the apricot. It's a prunus, by the way, genus. A prunus mum was yesterday's, the apricot. But today, the Seedless Chi. I thought this was really interesting because I've got a lot of Osage orange that grow on my place. And it says here that the Seedless Chi, exclusively from edible landscaping, our Seedless Chi is a small, rounded, fall-fruiting ornamental tree. In the deep south, Chi ripens in mid-July, and in Virginia, it ripens late September through October. Grafted on Osage orange to prevent suckering, these are superior trees. I got a lot of Osage orange that come up in my place. I would love to graft on some of these Seedless Chis on some of those big root stalks that when you cut the tree down, they come back. Unless they're a really big tree. All your bigger hardwoods, if you cut them down, they won't resprout. But your younger ones, foot and smaller diameter, generally resprout. And I was thinking, well, you got that big old root system. Would it be nice to graft on one of these fruiting Seedless Chis on a big old tree? I haven't done it yet. I haven't got any of these growing yet, but I intend to. So they're grafted on Osage orange to prevent suckering. These are superior trees. Bear splendid crop of lovely red fruit clusters over the entire tree. A center of attention at ripening time. Fully ripe fruits are juicy, sweet, very pleasant, and fig-like in taste. Birds don't bother the fruits. Completely seedless and self-fertile. Makes great preserves. Space 14-foot circles, zone 6 through 9. So I think I need to be growing some Seedless Chi. And then our word for peace day, we're going to take it from our Jamaican brothers and sisters who speak Jamaican Creole, or is that Creole? Anyway, Creole, I think. I think I've heard people say it Creole too. There is an E on the end. They're in the Caribbean, part of the West Indies, and their word for peace is Gutpela Tain, if I'm pronouncing it right. So peace be with you, Gutpela Tain in Jamaican Creole. Okay, well, let's close with our song. And thank you all so much for joining me here on the banks of Silver Creek. I think it's warm enough this afternoon. I think I'll dip in the water when I'm done here. Do I have time to get a drink of water before I do this? It's Backpack Day, Backpack Awareness Day. I carry my backpack wherever I am going to be gone away from the house for more than a few minutes. Keep my Course in Miracles and my guitar with me. Of course, my guitar is in its own case. I keep everything that I need to do a recording with me so that if I get stranded away from home, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I can do a recording, even if it's just in front of a bush, in front of a hospital, which I've done before. Try to do something natural, Try to put you guys in a nice natural space. Let me remember, God created me. Let me remember, God created me. And let me created me. Let me remember God created me. Father, I did not make myself, although in my insanity I thought I did. Yet as your thought, I have not left my source, remaining part of who created me. Your Son, my Father, calls on you today. Your Son, my Father, calls on you today. Father, your Son calls on you today. Father, your Son calls on you today. Let me remember you created me. Let me remember you created me. Let me remember my identity, and let my sinlessness arise again before Christ's vision. And let my sinlessness arise again before Christ's vision, through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Christ's vision, through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Let my sinlessness arise again before Christ's vision, through which I would look upon my brothers and myself today. Let me remember God created me. Let me remember God created me. Now is our source remembered, and therein we find our true identity at last. Now is our source remembered, and therein we find our true identity at last. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. Holy indeed are we, because our source can know no sin. And we who are his sons are like each other and alike to him. And we who are his sons are like each other and alike to him. Let me remember God created me. 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 Remember, love created you. You're a love being, and that should make you lots of encouragement and hope. Look for ways to send forth love so that you can remember who you are. Let me remember God created me. Gutpela, Tain.